Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake on YouTube, and what we're going to make is a pizza. Well, really the recipe is for pizza dough. I want to start off by telling you that this will make, I have 22 videos on pizza doughs. And in case you don't like this one, I want you to be aware of, to check out, if you'd like to check out my channel for, I have thick, I have crispy, thin, Italian, deep dish, Amish, whole wheat. I have some, of course, are with high gluten flour, which I know is not real popular with a lot of people, and I understand due to dietary restrictions and things of that nature. All-purpose flour, whole wheat flour, and bread flour. So again, there's 22 of them that if you find you don't like this recipe and you're looking for a good crust, a good pizza dough, I really think you might want to check out the other 21 videos I have. Okay, so I'm going to start off by telling you I made the dough in my bread maker or bread machine. Yes, you could make this dough by hand if you prefer, but I don't give the directions to it. I find that when I make my doughs out of my maker, it just seems that it's kind of more foolproof. It's easier on my hands, etc., than from all the kneading and that kind of thing. So again, if this isn't your cup of tea, and you're looking for a recipe that someone's showing you how to do it by hand, well, I'm sorry about that. But I want to give you the recipe right off the bat because I no longer put it below my video, and I'm sorry about that. But this is the recipe. You need 2 cups of water, hot water, at least around 108 to 110 degrees. I actually do mine in the microwave, in a cup that is microwave safe. You need just very little, I would say a pinch to, oh my gosh, even you could go up to an 1/8 of a teaspoon of sugar if you want, but if you can keep it around a pinch or a little bit bigger than that, I think you'd like that. You'll need 1.5 teaspoons of dry active yeast, and that's usually just one package, of course. And you'll need 2 tablespoons of oil. I would suggest to do olive oil, extra virgin or whatever, that's up to you, or use whatever type of oil that you prefer or might have on hand, but that's 2 tablespoons. You need at least 1.5 teaspoons of salt and 5¼ cups I'm using today all-purpose flour, okay? I would suggest for you to follow your bread machine or bread maker's instructions, when to put the liquid in and the dry. My particular machines that I have, and I work with about 6 of them, different brand of companies, is they always put the water in first. But again, you check your instructions and follow through. Now, what I want to show you is I'm going to take half of the dough out. So in other words, I get 2 pizzas out of this dough. I want to warn you ahead of time. This dough is very sticky, and that can be, kind of frustrating, and I understand that, but it's really well worth it. Once you, I've got a little bit of crumb in here, so I want to pull that out. And try to use as little flour as possible, because you don't want your doughs to be tough. And be just a little patient with it, because like I said, it is sticky. But once you put a small amount of flour, you can see it really changes, okay? Now, this particular dough, I really don't even need a rolling pin. I mean, you can if you want to, but what I've done is I have a 12-inch pan. So out of this recipe, I get two 12-inch pizzas out of it. Of course, you could make one larger pizza, probably get a 14-inch out of it, maybe a 16. I mean, it's up to you how thick or thin you like your crust. And you can use, again, your rolling pin. It might be a little bit faster, but I'm kind of old school, coming from a family of the restaurant catering business. We really did a lot of this all by hand, so I'm kind of used to that, then rolling it out. But you want to do what you feel is best, of course, because I know I'll probably get some questions or letters. Well, why didn't you use a rolling pin? It would have been faster, and it would be, but I'm doing it this way today. Okay, and then again, you've got to be mindful to, keep pulling that dough to the edges. I don't like to overwork my dough a lot. I don't like to touch it a lot and toughen it up. So I've got that done. Now I'm not going to bore you with making a pizza, because I'm sure you know how, but for the sake of the video, and I am using, in case you are curious, I am using about 8 ounces of sauce. I like a lot. My family likes a lot. If you think that that's too much, then bring it down to 6 ounces or whatever. Or I make actually a pizza for another family member that I don't put sauce on at all, because they don't like sauce. The next thing I'm going to put on is just actually some Parmesan cheese. It's about a quarter of a cup. I like to have a lot of cheese on my pizza. I've always said this in my videos, is that I grew up in a family business restaurant, Italian, and they would always say, when you're eating pizza, you want to eat more than bread. I don't want to just eat bread. So I actually do put a lot of cheese on it. The next thing is I'm just using mozzarella that I ground myself. I buy it in bulk, 5-pound block. I don't like all the things that they put in cheese now to prevent caking and all of that. But whatever you have, whatever you like to do, of course, is up to you. And you can use, a combination of different cheeses together. I mean, it's endless of really choices. Again, it's going to look like, gee, 8 ounces that I'm putting on seems like a lot. But again, that is my preference. You can always put about 6 ounces down on a size pizza like this. It's up to you. And there's no really rhyme or reason. Just try to equal it out as best as you can and get the edges so you're not putting it all in one spot, of course. Okay. And once it bakes down, it really doesn't look that much, And then your pepperoni, really depends whatever you want your toppings to be. I like, everyone's kind of traditional with pepperoni. And then I like to put either ground Italian sausage, which is already pre-cooked, of course, or ground hamburger, ground round, that of course is cooked ahead of time. But my gosh, there's so many things, with onions and green peppers and pineapple and so many ways to make a great pizza. It really is. I like to measure everything so that I get kind of an idea of how many calories it is to make, to make the pizza, that kind of thing, okay? So and just plop those down. And then now I'm going to put that ground round on it. Now you can use regular hamburger. Ground round has less fat and less grease to it, and that's another reason why I like cooked ground round, because there's going to be grease when you start baking this because of the cheese. So I try to keep that down by using that. But Italian cooked ground sausage is what I particularly like, and also anchovies. So you have that, okay? And what you want to do is you want to bake it in anywhere from, I like to stay within 425 to 450. Some people will bake higher than that. They will go to 475. That's up to you. Our ovens are also differently, that I find with my new oven, that 425 or 450 is just perfect for me. So, you know, decide on what temperature. But generally I like a pizza to come up baking within about 20 minutes is about the average time, okay? So I'm gonna just rinse my hands quickly and show you the finished product. And here it is. It came out of the oven, I don't think very long, maybe 7 minutes ago or so. So it's still hot that I have to handle it here with a towel. But I don't know if you can see the thickness of it. It'll come out to a beautiful golden brown on the top. And then the bottom, I don't know whether or not you're going to be able to see it, but it's a light golden brown. It does have a hard crust on the outside, but when you bite into it, it'll have a nice chew to it, almost a medium soft texture, if that's what you're looking for. If you like them thinner and crisper, again, check out my channel. But this one I did bake, I believe, at 425, and it took around that time range, you know, of that 20 minutes or so to round it off. And this is how it turned out, which is, I think, it looks so good. I'm going to actually have a piece after this video. So if you like this recipe or you've tried the recipe, well, write to me. I'd love to hear from you and have how it turned out for you, or your opinion, that type of thing. And I will answer you in a timely fashion. I want to also mention that I only put my videos on YouTube. So if you watch me on YouTube, write to me on YouTube. I will get your question or your comment or whatever it is. But if, you know, I stopped giving my recipes, and I'm not alone on this, but I got very tired of having my work pinned and posted and taken as other people's property, and it wasn't worth it for me anymore to put the recipe below the video. But if you, again, write to me on YouTube, I will get your question and your comment. And that's one of the reasons why I stopped putting my recipe below, because people would write and I couldn't answer them because my work was on someone else's site or someone else's name, and it was so frustrating. And well, that's what made my decision. And again, I'm not alone, so didn't want to bore you with that, but I do get questions. How come you no longer do put your recipe? So I like to explain. So I want to thank you for watching. Still a bit warm here to handle it. Thanks for watching Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. If you're so inclined and you'd like to subscribe, well, I can't thank you enough. Or ring the bell or give me a like. Also, again, if you try it and you have the time, jot me a message and I'd love to hear from you, okay? So thank you for watching Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. Stay well, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.